It's
And
working.
now, life and times of the saints
In the shadows.
in the shadows. That's all right. I'll get that settled. At least I got it recorded now, so that's good. I just need to translate that over to my soundboard. All right, here we go. Saint Giovanni. It's a saint that you most likely know. I usually do try to pick ones that you've heard of, though you might not know the whole story. So, like I said, Saint Giovanni. He was born and raised in Italy, and he was born into wealth. His family was into the cloth business, and business was booming. And Giovanni, well, he took advantage of it. However, Giovanni was a man's man, if you will. He wanted to go into battle. That was his dream. He wanted to take adventure, to be a warrior. He wanted to take life by the horns and just take control. That all changed, though. It changed was when he was in the heat of battle. And, well, instead of winning, he was taken prisoner. He was held captive for over a year. After the year-long imprisonment, he came back, and he came back as a different man. No longer a man of war, no longer a man of adventure, per se, but a man of peace. A man who dedicated the rest of his life to peace, and even, as legend has it, talking to animals. He kept to himself. He devoted himself to the Lord. He did this so much that he even denounced his wealth. Rumor has it that in a heated argument with his father in the middle of town, he stripped all of his clothes off and walked away, thus giving up his wealth. This was such a part of him, he became known for it. It even caused a fight nearly 100 years later within the realm of Catholicism, all about poverty in its place. As he took his desire to be a man of peace, he kept to himself. However, it didn't last long. After a year, he had 11 people. 11 people that were keeping to themselves. Well, they're keeping to themselves with him. Over time, this became an order. It took his name. Not Giovanni, not the Order of Giovanni. That was certainly his name. It was the name given to him at birth. It was the name given to him at his baptism. But I should go back at least a little bit. You see, his dad was in the cloth business, as mentioned before. And with that, unfortunately, came travel. And so his dad was actually gone at the time that he was born. And when his dad came home, he had stories to tell of all his adventures and places that he had been. He was so enamored with where he was that he named his son after it. You see, he had been in France. And so he ended up usurping mom and changed the little man's name to Francis in honor of the French. Saint Francis of Assisi, or as we like to call it, Assisi, for short. A man known for peace and his love of animals. He died on October 3rd, 1226, singing the Psalms. At least that's according to the story. So, there we have it. Saint Francis of Assisi is our saint. October 4th is the day you're supposed to celebrate him. So not quite October 3rd. Why it goes to October 4th, I don't know. Because he passed away on October 3rd. He was canonized, as they say, in 1228. So just 2 years later, they pretty much said, yeah, he was a saint. So anyway, that's a little bit of his history, and I'll be honest with you, whenever I was reading and kind of researching him, first of all, a lot of these saints we have very little on. Saint Francis of Assisi, we actually have quite a bit on. He is a well-known saint, and there is so much here. I could have talked for a half an hour just on him, but I tried to keep it very short. But if you're interested in him, definitely go read more. But anyway, there is a Saint Francis cocktail, which is supposedly the precursor of the modern day martini, and it is simply 2 ounces of gin, one dash of vermouth, and one dash of orange bitters.
Oh.
Shaker and shaken and then strained into a glass. Um, so there you go. There's your St. Francis cocktail. And it's really interesting, like, because here you have this man that loved animals, right? That just
Mm-hmm.
loved animals. And so I looked up the meal of the day. And so it turns out that, like, while St. Francis of Assisi loved animals, he also loved to eat them. Um, Now, he wasn't the guy that was going to eat meat every single day of the week. In fact, he ate vegetables a lot of times, but on special occasions, he actually would have meat. And so he kind of became known for. I wouldn't say he became known, but there's one legend where he had people actually. Uh, some legend with some town and a wolf. So something dealing with the big bad wolf, and they would smear beef tallow on their door uh, for the sake of the wolf. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I read it right before I got on air, and I kind of forgot it. But the big thing was this: you could have, like, say, a Christmas goose or something like that. And so the recipe for today, and I'm not going to give you the full recipe, but it was a pan roasted chicken and
Hmm.
sausage, and it had like tomatoes and stuff roasted with it. Sounded really good. But honestly, like, any type of pan roasted chicken or sausage, I think would fit in this particular category.
Yeah.
Um, again, just don't do it every day, because if you're going to be like with St. Francis of Assisi, you don't want to eat a lot of meat all the time, because,
Right.
well, I mean, that's just not him. So anyway, so
Amazing. It's amazing that there's two types of meat
yeah,
in
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
dish.
I agree. I agree. But I think it was crumbled sausage. I'll have to go back and check, but I think it was
Hmm.
crumbled sausage.
Sounds
Um,
delicious to me.
yeah, absolutely. And so thus ends And Now Life and Times of the Saints
In the shadows.
in the Shadows. I'm going to so fix that.